Hey there, welcome back to Reddit XO, the best channel for Reddit cheating stories. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell notification for more stories like these. Now, let's get into the video. Me, 28 male, with my wife 27 female, duration 9 years, she cheated on me when I was out of town. A little about ourselves. We've been together for 9 years. He and her started dating before college and have been together ever since. After graduation, I returned to my hometown to assist her in continuing her studies. It was at the end of her last semester that she decided to stop her relationship with me since she was being chased by another guy. When she came a second time, she begged for forgiveness and promised that nothing had occurred. 6 months later, we were able to move into an apartment together. We got married a little over a year after that. We were able to purchase a house last year, less than a year after getting married, thanks to money I got after my grandmother's death. She lost her job 4 months ago and, as far as I'm aware, has not been able to locate another. After graduation, and for the duration of her unemployment, I was the primary earner. I was lucky to have a job that allowed me to pay for the bulk of our expenses, including her student bills and a new car. I was out of state on a business assignment a few Thursdays ago, and I apologize for the inconvenience. I wasn't meant to be back until the following Thursday according to the schedule. On Wednesday, I received word that I may be able to go early. Although I phoned my wife and informed her that I would be returning home shortly, it was clear that she wasn't herself and didn't seem to be thrilled with the news. She said she hadn't gotten enough sleep the night before. When I arrived home, she seemed fatigued. We relaxed for a few hours before retiring to our own beds, where she requested or announced that she won with me. After being away for more than a week, I was in a giving mood and decided to do oral before having. Her kisses were all sour tasting, and she didn't seem to be interested in what was going on. When I got to work the following day, nothing out of the usual had occurred to me. She arrived home after me and promptly jumped in the shower after coming from a gym class with me. She doesn't smoke, so when I inquired as to why she had cigarettes in her purse, she looked to be attempting to avoid a conversation on a subject she was trying to avoid. She acknowledged to me that she was unsatisfied with her job and that she had been for a long period of time. In her words, we all want different things, and she believed that. She said that she had not missed me at all while I was away. The whole time, I stayed relatively silent and outraged, unable to convey my sentiments of betrayal and treachery. She ended up crying as she left, and I immediately erupted into tears myself. I got in touch with several of my friends and ended up bicycling for a few hours to their house. When I returned home about 11:30 p.m., I was enraged and outraged, and I immediately started searching the house out of suspicion. She'd completely forgotten about the rings that were on her dresser. I sat down in front of her computer and started to go through it. There I uncovered a record of about 80% of what she and the guy she slept with had spoken over the previous 5 days, which had been preserved in Facebook discussions. She indicated that when she was working, everything were acceptable, but that her time away from work was the worst of her life. She felt that she wasn't getting to do the things she wanted to do, and she felt trapped and upset at the actions that had led her here. There were also a lot of mails in which she pushed on their meeting. She had spent the whole evening of Wednesday evening emailing the man and had even asked him to my house for supper. The texting lasted until early morning. When she went to his place at 3 a.m., she didn't get home until after 6 p.m. on Wednesday, 2 hours before I did. They had unprotected intercourse and then insisted on having the night I returned home, a time span of around 18 hours. I also learned from these communications that she went to his place after leaving the home on Thursday night. I saved the full Facebook chat to PDF, which ended up being about 70 pages of communications exchanged in 5 days and kept in several locations. She returned home about 1 a.m. on Thursday night/Friday morning. I informed her that I was aware. According to the transcript, she attempted to assure me that she didn't mean for things to happen. She ended up sleeping in the guest bedroom after a long period of furious quiet. I informed my folks on Friday morning. I advised her to go since I was not interested in forgiving her. She went away for a few days, but she has recently returned to the guest room. My parents informed her relatives, who are distraught. Despite everything, her father and I are still on cordial, if odd, terms. I have contacted a lawyer. I've also been tested for STD and HIV. Results are still pending. I've shifted what money I can out of joint accounts and into my own. I've been preparing my belongings to live without her once the agreement is completed and she leaves. I'll have to wait a full year after the arrangement is completed before the divorce is official. I haven't spoken anything to her in the weeks after everything broke apart, but we're meeting in person today to talk about it. I'm sure I left something out, but that's the core of it. The only thing I don't know or have plans for is where I'm going from here. I know I'm still young, but I've never been one to go out and meet new people, and I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to dating as an adult. Edit, to be clear, she does not use birth control. We've been using condoms since we began dating, and one was used the night I returned, so the possibility of a pregnancy ruse is small to none. Also, as several of you have pointed out, this was not her first time cheating. I discovered through the transcript that she had with another man from work 4 years ago, following the breakup and reconciliation, but before we moved in together. Story 2. I am still unable to move past my wife's affair years ago. I discovered my wife having an affair with another lady around 7 years ago. They were texting "I love you so much," and "I hope we could be together forever." She was dating her and lying about where she was and who she was with and so on. My wife is bi, and I'd never had a problem like this until I found the affair by discovering hundreds of messages to the same number while I was sleeping every night on my phone bill. So I went through her phone, discovered what was going on, and decided to approach her about the phone bill. I didn't tell her I had gone through her phone and found the text because I wanted her to come clean rather than just acknowledge responsibility because she had no other option. I thought that the works would serve as a means of reconciliation and trust building. My wife denied that anything was strange and then accused me of being jealous and crazy. She texted her buddy that night when I was sleeping, saying, "We need to chat, please call me," and then they spoke for 2 hours on the phone. I checked her phone again the following morning, and they had been messaging about how nothing can prevent them from loving one another, and other such star-crossed lovers nonsense. I questioned her again the next morning, and she denied it once again before deleting the text conversations she didn't believe I'd previously seen. I informed her I knew she deleted the messages because I had seen them, and she still denied it, claiming they were just friends and that occasionally friends say "I love you," despite the fact that these were clearly amorous emails. I told her I couldn't trust her anymore, and that if she couldn't be honest with me about this, there was no way we could continue together. We had a child together, so I was half bluffing to get her to reveal the truth, since my child was my life and I was not going to give up a single day with her to split custody or lose it. She called my bluff and responded, "I'm sorry you feel that way," implying that I was free to exit the relationship at any time. She didn't argue. She didn't beg for forgiveness. She simply essentially dared me to leave her, which she knew I wouldn't do. It was like a child standing in front of a shattered cookie jar, telling everyone she didn't touch it. I urged her to please cease meeting the other lady and take our marriage seriously so that we could raise our daughter together, and she agreed to do so without admitting any wrongdoing in the first place. That was sufficient for me since all I wanted was to wake up in the same home as my kid every day. Fast forward 7 years, and I've been working hard to overcome this problem, but she has never acknowledged to doing anything, and at this time, understandably, she threatens to leave if I bring it up. I don't bother her about it, but it keeps me up at night, and if she asks what's wrong, I tell her. We had 2 more children because I thought I could get over it, and she had stopped seeing the lady. But here I am, still worried and wishing things had turned out differently. Is there any way I can persuade myself to go on without her ever being honest about what happened? I still don't want to leave her since I love her and like seeing my kids every day, and apart from this situation, she's a wonderful mother to our children.